Greater Good Radio. Connect, learn, heal, and grow.
I went to Micronesia and asked Mao to come back to be our teacher. He came back and he stayed with us the whole way. We linked him with the Bishop Museum Planetarium with a guy by the name of Will Kaselka that accelerated the understanding of the stars. There's so much to learn that we needed technology and science to bridge us back into our traditions. When the voyage was far away, everything was exciting. What was odd, it gets to the story you're asking me about. The closer we got to the time of departure, the harder it got. Because all of a sudden, I was getting closer and closer to having to take the voyage. And that got scary. And somehow, in my immaturity, I didn't know how to deal with fear and didn't know how to use it as a tool to help you get prepared. It just started to weigh on me. And it was, we had trained for 2 years. And the closer we got to the voyage, the more I wanted somebody to guarantee that we would find Tahiti to remove the risk that I was taking. What happened, instead of the excitement of learning was taking place, was more the kind of crushing depression of fear. And it was such an interesting time for me. So I started to lean on my teachers, tell me to guarantee how to get there. And Mao, he's such an extraordinary man, sensitive man. He came to Hawaii, moved in with me. I was a fisherman, living by myself in Hōkūleʻa, rarely had food, never washed my clothes, so he only lasted about a week. Then he moved in with mom and dad, had his own bathroom, he was fed well, he was in top shape. But, he would train me, no syllabus, he would train the way that he saw me progress. So I had no idea when school began and when school ended. You just basically be with him. But the closer we got to the voyage, 4 months out before the departure that we were considering in March of 1980, I was a wreck. Just a wreck. And Mao watched it. And there's a place called Lanai Lookout. You know what that is? It's in between Hanauma Bay and Sandy Beach. That parking lot where you can look out towards Molokai. But it overlooks the ocean on the Kaiwi coast. We would go there, hundreds of sunrises and sunsets, to study the colors of dawn and dusk. And that was to determine how we predict weather, the weather conditions for the next 12 hours of the day or the night, but also to integrate the change from daylight to nighttime or nighttime to daytime, that transition, and to read the ocean swell. So it integrates stars, the heavens, atmosphere, and the ocean at that moment. But we would go there all the time. And so we were in the very sophisticated part of the training, but Mao gets out of the car. He goes, take me to the Lanai Lookout. We drive over there, he gets out of the car. And he looks out and he starts to question me, like he's testing me. His first question was, show me the star compass. That's these houses on the ocean that articulate where certain steering stars come up out of the ocean in the eastern hemisphere and where they go down in the western hemisphere. That's like kindergarten 101, first class. In fact, that was the first class, to teach me the star compass. And my anxiety was, teach me how to guarantee I'll find Tahiti. Why are we dealing with this stuff that I already know? So I point the 32 houses out. Elementary question. And he says, point to all the star houses. I point to all the 32. And then he says, well, point to the star house that Tahiti lies in. That's kindergarten 101 too. I knew exactly what the star house. So I point to it. Then he goes, good. Then he asks the question, the powerful question. He goes, can you see the island? He knows that you cannot see Tahiti 2,500 miles away. And I know he knows. But I knew the question was a deep one. So I didn't know how to answer it. So I took some time. And I finally said, Mao, I can see the image of the island in my mind. And he says, okay, good, take me home. He said, that image, if you ever lose it, you will be lost. Take me home. I took him home. He basically shut me up. Didn't go and give me another lesson. He stayed in his room at my mom's house. He just cut me off. And that was the last lesson about keeping the island in your mind. And it wasn't until after the voyage, when you asked the question about, what's meaningful experiences to me, it wasn't until after the voyage that I really recognized the power. Basically what he was saying is that the ocean, he knew who I was. He knew I was never challenged. This voyage would be the most challenging thing I've ever done. He didn't know whether I could do it because he knew I had the information. He knew I had some experience, but would I turn that into competence? Would I turn that into knowledge? He didn't know. And so the image of the island really was basically saying that this voyage is going to challenge you to a point that you've never been through before. You don't know if you can endure it. And my interpretation was, what he was saying was, Seeing the island was really about seeing the purpose why you're going and who you serve. If you forget that purpose, you will be lost in your faith. And so I remember his words as I sailed on the voyage when times were the most difficult, about those words, about knowing why you're here, knowing who you serve.
If you resonate with Greater Good Radio, please join our community at www.greatergoodradio.com, where you can get access to exclusive content and offerings. Hope to see you soon.